It's a beautiful sunny Sunday morning and we've just stepped onto part of the Pilgrim Trail to Bardsey Island. It's like a sunken path with a hedgerows and the embankment on the side. And as we walked along, we were thinking about the many hundreds and thousands of people way back who walked this path as well as we did. Clynnog Fawr, a small village, but when you see the church you realise why it's called Fawr, because the church is huge. And why is it huge? It's because pilgrims came and gathered here together to worship as a large body of people before they set off on their journey. And why did they come here? Well, they came here because St Beuno founded the church here in 616. And so this was a place of power connected to a saint. And this is why people came here and worshipped in their large numbers, and why the church was built so huge. The church was burnt by the Vikings in the 10th century. Then, when the Normans arrived, they rebuilt it. The present church that we see now is 15th and 16th century and is one of the finest examples of Tudor churches in Wales. This is the site of the original church or chapel for St Beuno and his community. Probably it would have been made of wattle and daub then, all those years ago. A scriptorium was developed here, and it is believed that the first 4 branches of the Mabinogi were collected and written here. Beuno's Well, a source of hope. Families made the long, hard journey here for hundreds of years. They arrived at Llyn Peninsula exhausted and desperate, but with hope in their hearts. A dip in the curing waters of the well, followed by a night on the cold church floor, was said to cure the falling sickness, epilepsy, in children. Long before medicine was considered a science, this gave worried parents the chance of a cure for their child. They would have carried them in weary arms to the edge of the pool. The cold, sharp rush of water would have taken the child's breath away as they were plunged into its depths. Throughout the medieval period, faith was often all people had to turn to. The well is named after St. Beuno, whose feast day is celebrated on the 20th of April. Sick children slept on his tomb in the chapel to complete their healing process. There are many holy wells on Llyn Peninsula, and the pilgrims would have visited them en route to Bardsey Island. We're at Clandubby, where St. Cubby founded his church and has a holy well here, and a very important one it was too. St. Cubby came from Cornwall, and it is believed he went over to Europe to study, France and Jerusalem. Then he came back to Ireland and sailed from Wicklow and landed on the Llyn Peninsula. From there he walked to the place where we are now, struck his staff in the ground, and a spring sprung up, and the well came here, the well that we are at now. Many saints have the power to let water gush at their feet when they struck the ground with a staff. For example, St. Illtyd did at Llanryddian on Gower. But here at Clandubby, here where the pilgrims came in the Middle Ages in their hundreds, was very popular because it could cure all sorts of illnesses. For example, warts, rheumatism, scrofula. And scrofula was a form of tuberculosis which made horrible swellings on your neck, and it was believed that it could be cured if you were touched by a king. Well, if a king wasn't very handy, which of course they weren't, then you would come to a holy well. And this holy well was particularly efficacious, and this is why these buildings remain from when pilgrims came. And later on, the water was tested and found to have many medicinal properties to it. The pilgrimage wells we have seen have been quite elaborate structures, but all over Llyn are many springs and wells, holy wells, which, as well as giving water for the journey, would have been seen also as giving healing to the people who visited them.